Hey, what's up, VC? Joakim here. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed my channel, everybody that has been giving me feedback. It's really appreciated. Stoked. Thank you. So this is a video of 15 random choices. These records do not align in a particular era or nothing, even though they are within the punk rock spectrum, which it's what I like. So anyways, I picked 15 records that I find relevant. Again, most of you likely to be familiar with those. The ones that are not, give it a try. The ones that are familiar with, just a reminder that it's about time to give these guys a spin. So let's start this. First one up, let me look at my cheat sheet. 1983, Infus. Infus, also known as Infrared, pretty well-known UK 82 band. They changed their sound and their name prior to putting out this album, even though this album is listed as Infrared second album, which in my opinion it's not. So like their peers from that early UK 82s period, they shift the sound. If you were to compare to Blitz, which it's a band that I absolutely love, they shift direction into that post-punk dark wave tone. They follow their route. However, this is way tougher than anything that Blitz did, post the UK 82 era. This is a record that I will describe it. He has like this eerie and tough as nails vibe to it. It's fantastic. Check it out. Good start maybe would be to listen to the song Punch the Air with Glory. That would be a good start. Check it out. Fantastic record. Next one up, a recent reissue that I bought this. I'm glad I finally have a copy. Classic, one of the most well-known Swedish punk bands, along with Beach Boys and even Troublemakers. Troublemakers might be a little bit later. Anyways, Rude Kids, Safe Society. This thing just came out within the last 2 years. I got this probably like a year ago. All of you that are suckers for Killed by Dead stuff, you guys are familiar with this. Came out on 79 on Polydor Records, even though I believe it was recorded in 78. Classic 77 undertone to it. However, it's a little bit harsher, in my opinion. The lead singer reminds me, actually, the Rude Kids, even though they're not an hardcore band, classic 77, I'll categorize them within that classic 77 punk genre. For some reason, they remind me of the Nihilistics from New York. You just imagine the Nihilistics without that hardcore punch. I think you'll get a good picture of what to expect from this record. It's fantastic. Check it out. Talking about hardcore, I pulled this one out today and I forgot how amazing this record is. One of the DC bands, well-known band from the Discord catalog, Grey Matter. This is their first EP, which came out, I believe, same year or after. The year, I only wrote down the years, so it's 86. I think this came out after their first, their full length called Food for Thought, which is pretty good. However, it's a little bit too melodic for me. I prefer this one. I will describe this as hardcore that is melodic but also desperate. It's fantastic. Check it out. Next one up, the most acclaimed album from the second wave of French punk, Camera Silent. This is the first reissue of this album. This album came out in 85. 85, but it was a self-released. Pretty difficult to find it, or to find it in good conditions. This is the first repress, which is maybe 2000, 2001. I didn't write it down. and I cannot see it. Yeah, but this has been reissued. You see, I know this is the first repress because it's the only one. It was repressed as a gatefold, So this is great, even if you're not keen to listen to some foreign singer, and if you like punk rock, even if you like just music in general, you listen to this record and you're gonna be blown away. Interesting fact about this band is that even though this is a band that a lot of the skinhead crowd like this band, or at least they wear the t-shirts and patches and shit, which doesn't mean much, but let's assume they like it because this is fantastic. This was a band, there was no skinheads in this band. These guys were punks, junkies, and thieves. They were involved in one of the largest heists of the Parisian history. So the lead singer even fled the country. He was missing in action for like 25 or 30 years. He even lived in Portugal at a time, and he ran a small record shop, which I was not familiar with. This is information that came out, when he gave himself up to the French authorities and wrote the biography. That's when everybody became aware of that story. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, you listen to this record, you'll be blown away, and you will not even imagine that these guys are punks, junkies, and thieves. Fantastic. Next one up, from Damaged Goods. This came out 2010. They have maybe a single or two prior to this. This is the Speeds. Taped Up. This record is fantastic. It's a cheap record. Sounds great. I think it's white vinyl. I think it only came out on white vinyl, if I'm not mistaken. This is great. So anyone, any fans of Markman, Carbonus, that are not familiar with these guys, you're likely to be, but if you're not, you have to check this out. It's on that vein of Markman. However, he has a little bit more what I would describe raw 77 British punk, a vibe to it. Fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Check it out. Also, a record that doesn't get attention at all, and I think it's great. I think within the last 15 years, 20 years, one of the best records that came out of Boston. This is pretty cool. It's a hardcore band called Social Circle. These guys, I will describe them if you're familiar with that Canadian scene from early 2000s, like Regulations, Career Suicide, that kind of stuff. So if you know those bands, Regulations and Career Suicide, you're not familiar with Social Circle. Social Circle just falls in between those, and he has a little bit more like that skate rock vibe to it. It's fantastic. Decided to show this one because he's a band that doesn't get attention anymore, and he was such a big band, and I love these guys. This is Star Club from Japan. Japanese Sex Pistols, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, I picked this one because it's the only one that I have that is fully completed with the Obi and the Flexi, which is the tune on the Flexi is the Bible. It's the only one that I have completed. I have quite a few of their material, but like fully completed is the only one I have. This I always thought it was their second album called Hello New Punks, but Discogs today told me that it was the third, because the first one, according to Discogs, was some live tape that came out in 1979. Yeah, it's a great introduction to the band, and also a great introduction to Japanese punk within that 77 style, not early Japanese hardcore. That's a different ball game. Great record. Star Club, Hello New Punks. Classic record here. What year is this? 1980. One of my favorite singers of all time, Shane MacGowan, The Nips. This is from 1980 on Soho Recordings. Yeah. If you like Shane MacGowan, if you like 77 punk, if you like rock and roll, check this out. This is a straight up rock and roll album with a punk edge to it. It's just fantastic. You see Shane up there? That's a painting that one of my best friends made it for me a few Christmas ago. Love that thing. Anyways, enough of Shane. Love Shane. Check it out. The Nips. Next one up. Classic. Early Australian punk rock that doesn't get enough attention. Gets overshadowed by these guys, gets overshadowed by Radio Birdman and Scientists and all that stuff. This is a great record. This is from 1980. This is not the first pressing. This is a reissue from 2001 on Rock and Roll Blitzkrieg. Great record. X Aspirations sounds great. Just imagine the Saints. He has a little nastier tone to it. It's a fantastic record. You will not regret it to dig this album. Fantastic. Showing a record, I don't know how much interest we'll have here, but anyways, just showing because it was the first time that I spin the record, probably since this came out. This is not, I will not categorize this as punk, just a hard rock or heavy rock record. But back in the mid 90s, you know, older punks that I knew, they introduced me to a lot of music. Those guys at that time, they were like going back to rediscover Iron Maiden and stuff like that. They were just, I guess they were fed up with punk by that time. And a lot of them, they started listening to these bands like this one, like Helicopters and Lucifer and Nomads and Turbo Negro and all that stuff. So and as a result of that, you know, I was introduced to it, and I ended up buying this record when this record came out. It's pretty good. Every rock and roll record. Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, just listen to the song "The Devil Stole the Beat from the Lord," and it's a good start. Pretty good record. Classic '77 punk. This came out on the label. Another well-known record, teenagers playing perfect punk, doing some renditions of, I think they played what, Sweet Jane maybe here? Yeah. Anyways, The Eater, fantastic. Everybody that knows this record knows how fantastic it is. The ones that are not familiar with it, just go and listen to this right after this video, and you can take me later. It's fantastic. Pick this compilation because it's great. It is really good. If you like KZUK, familiar with KZUK, you know their sound. So this came out in 1998. Yeah, on Vinyl Japan. This is probably my favorite record of a band playing cover songs. They cover Alternative TV, You Bastard. They cover Plasmatics. They cover Public Image Limited. They cover Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Gigi Allen, Some Chicken, The Users, The Depressions, Mob, Ian Dury and the Blockheads, even Sex Pistols, Belson Was a Gas, with their unique style. This is a fantastic, punk, hardcore rendition to early UK punk singles. It's fantastic. If you never heard this, you will love it. It's gonna make you happy. Classic band here from Holland. They started as Noise. They put down the record called not Noise. Squats was the name of the band. The single was Noise Overdose. However, at this time, by this period of time, they also changed the name to The Magnificent, but they did change their sound. They polished their sound. There's a little bit more of that oi vibe to it, but it's fantastic. And they cover "If I Had a Hammer," which it's the best cover I have heard of. "If I Had a Hammer," so it's a great record. This came out on Link Records, I believe, 1988. Yeah, fantastic. Check this out. You'll not regret it. A lot of catchy tunes in this record. Pretty good. I'm gonna show some Psychobilly because I do like. Well, I'm only familiar with that 80s UK psychobilly scene. That's the only era that I'm familiar with because I was exposed to it, and I like a lot of that stuff. I like Meteors, Torment, King Kurt, Schizo, Coffee Nails. I like that stuff. Past that, I don't. Yeah, it's not my thing. I just think like this newer psychobilly, the 90s, 2000s to the recent psychobilly, it just I think they just stripped down rockabilly out of it, and I really don't enjoy it. But this is one of my favorite psychobilly records of all time, the Hangman Gut Bucket Rock and Roll. This is fantastic. I think even the ones out there that are not familiar with psychobilly or don't like psychobilly but you like rock and roll, you will appreciate this record. I don't know if they're available on Spotify or not. I'm not sure, but I recall seeing a live performance of the song "Hang Am I." Yeah, that would be a decent introduction to the band. But if you can own this record and listen to this record, the sound of it is just fantastic. It's a great record. Check it out. And last but not least, I picked one of my favorite records of all time. This one, again, me and the favorite records of all time. But this one, it is indeed. Came out on Slash Records in 1979. This is the Germs. The only reason I'm showing this, GI, it's because just to remind you how great it is, but it also to ask if any of you out there is familiar with any band, any recording that somehow will resemble GI, this record, please let me know. I will truly appreciate that because I cannot pinpoint anything that can hold a stick to this record. Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a good week. I know I'm gonna be off for 4 days this weekend, and I'm gonna try to do a better video. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care. Bye.